Assalamu alaikum, peace be unto you. Shalom, peace. Assalamu Allah, peace to the gods, peace to the goddesses. I'm your brother in the struggle for peace, truth, reality, freedom, justice, and equality, Brother Minister Alifullah, AA. Beloved, today I would like to build with y'all on juxtaposing the teachings of Dr. Yakub Malik Shabazz with the teachings of Master Farad Muhammad. Master Farad Muhammad came in our midst as W.D. Farad, or Wallace Dayan Farad. Walla means friend, or the closest friend, best friend. Dayan means godly or God, and Farad means obligatory. Muhammad means one worthy of praise. So we consider him Master Farad Muhammad, but his true and living name is the Supreme Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. Let me open up in a brief prayer. In the name of Allah, who came in the person of the Master Farad Muhammad. His is the name of Almighty God, Allah, whom we praise. And in the name of his first, last, and only messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. I thank Almighty God, Allah, and his messenger for that universal mathematics and blessing us with countless leaders, teachers, and guides in the holy nation of Islam. O Allah, let us die not unless it's in the nature and in the state and in the struggle for peace, truth, reality, freedom, justice, and equality. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. Peace to the gods, peace to the goddess. Let's get into this. We're going to compare the teachings of Dr. Yakub to Master Farad Muhammad, not in the traditional sense, but in the universal sense. I want y'all to understand something. It's deeper than it may seem, all right? See, you may go fishing and look at the surface of the ocean, and you may catch a few fish, but deep down in the water, it's all types of things that you never could imagine. So it is with wisdom. Wisdom is comparable to water because if you spill some water, it will keep running until it reaches its level. So it is with the wisdom. The messenger teaches us that wisdom is to make your knowledge known, the woman. Master Farad Muhammad came after the workings of Dr. Yakub Malik Shabazz. Yakub was a big-headed scientist. He was not a evil man, per se. He was an original man. He was not a naive man, but he was one born to fulfill the works and the worth of Allah in person. Back in that time, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that we always had what's called 24 scientists. We didn't have 24 scientists in the beginning. We will never have 24 scientists in the end. That's why Muhammad broke all that up. The 24 scientists used to write the history for 25,000 year cycles. And now that we know the reality of God, see, we know student enrollment, number one, who is the original man, the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. Only half, 50%, only 12 of the 24 scientists knew that. That which our babies know, the 12 minor scientists did not know. They did not know who was the original man. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad visited the East, and when he visited the East, he couldn't answer that questions. But he said he asked them one question: who is the original man? They couldn't answer his question, you see? These lessons are our blessings. And the more we get into our lessons, the more we mature in our Islam, in our Iman, or our faith in the life-giving teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So let me open up by reading something from the Holy Message to the Black Man, in the wicked wilderness of North America. I'll be coming from page 100. In fact, I'm going to just freestyle this. All right, I'm gonna start off at page 110 to 111. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad says on page 110 in 1965, A Message to the Black Man in America, our 66 trillion years from the moon has proven a great and wise show of the original power to build wonders in the heavens and earth. 6,000 years ago, or to be more exact, 6,600 years ago, as Allah taught me, our nation gave birth to another God. Here's Dr. Yakub is not a devil. Dr. Yakub was a God, but he put pins in babies' heads. He was throwing them to wild animals. He gave them to the cremators to burn them up. He did all kind of evil, wickedness. That doesn't change the nature of God. See, a lot of people think that you have to fast and pray and study to become God. No, you cannot ever not be God. God is the nature of the original black man, okay? Our nation gave birth to another God whose name was Yakub. He started studying the life germ of man to try making a new creation, meaning new man, whom our 24 scientists had foretold 8,400 years before the birth of Mr. Yakub. Let's pause for a moment there, family. These 24 scientists are so mathematical, so analytical, so atomic in their analysis that they was able to write that a baby was going to be born in a certain place at a certain time 8,400 years before that baby was born. That sounds absolutely incredible. In order to be able to do all that kind of stuff, you would have to be God. So when y'all hear us say the black man is God, it's like it's hard for y'all to really believe or to conceive that thoughts do not become things. Thoughts are things. We're born with a 7.5 ounce brain, 14 billion brain cells. Each brain cell or neuron generates a power equal to 1/70,000th of a volt of electricity. Our thoughts travel on average around the universe covering 230 quintillion 640 quadrillion miles, 24 billion miles per second. You don't believe that. I get it. I mean, you've been under Yakub's teachings for the last 6,000 plus 600 years plus. I mean, I understand it. I get it. I don't fault you, but I want you to understand that even though these things may seem impossible, with God, all things are possible. Your brain, when you are happy or sad or you're depressed, your thoughts alter reality. It's hard to believe that human beings on earth with their pineal gland, that so-called third eye, the wajet, they're able to project a thought out into the universe. And that thought will actually spark the molecular, atomic, and subatomic, the quarks or the baby atoms of the universe. And they can literally spark atoms or spark stars into reality. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us in Al Sayers Rab in 1974 that the original people are the ones that actually lit up the night sky with stars. Our sun, which is 78 trillion years old, our moon, which is 66 trillion years old, our stars are only 72 trillion years old. The messenger teaches us for 2 trillion years, when human beings came outside and walked on the earth and looked up at the sky at nighttime, they only saw darkness. There was no stars. They saw a moon, but it wasn't that moon. The moon like, if you go outside right now, you see, we so busy. We're in big cities, most of us. I mean, see, I live out here like around a bunch of natural country stuff. You know what I mean? And sometimes I just go outside on the deck. And when I go outside on the deck, I communicate with our universe. When I go outside, I see our moon, Kamar, 240,000 miles away from the planet Earth, reflecting the light of the sun at 1.5 seconds or 1.5 seconds, because light travels under 86,000 miles per second. And our lessons teaches us what in the 99 actual facts. The sun is 93 million miles away from the planet Earth. 93 million miles is the same as saying 150 million kilometers, okay? That sun is 93 million miles away. Since light travels 186,000 miles per second, it takes that sunlight 8 minutes and 20 seconds, or exactly 500 seconds, to strike the melanin in our skin. Islam is mathematics. Mathematics is Islam. But beyond 66 trillion years ago, we didn't have a moon yet. So what would keep the water in check? How would we get low tide at night on different hemispheres or halves of the planet Earth, covering 24,896 miles? The messenger teaches us that before we had this particular moon, we had a totally different moon. It was the planet that we now call Mars. Mars was not a planet back then. We used to use Mars as a moon to help keep the water in equilibrium or equality or balance on the face of the planet Earth. This is just giving you an inkling of what black people used to do in antiquity and what black people will surpass in the distant future, family. You see? So Dr. Yakub Malik Shabazz, he did a particular work. His work was important. But the scientists wrote about him and his work 8,400 years before he was born. See, we write our history in advance. See, thoughts are things. See, you can't, on a mortal level or a neutron level, comprehend what protons or positrons or positive forces or 5% poor righteous teachers understand. You're 85%. You're a neutron. You're neutral. You're a mere mortal. Like, no, you don't have the energy. You don't vibrate on that level. There's 7 dimensions to the black man's mind: the physical, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual, the soul, the self, and the will. These 7 dimensions or portals are real. So you could literally, in your mind's eye, you can mentally imagine something. You can mentally plan something. You can mentally send a thought out. You can mentally receive a thought in. Just like your phone is a transmitter and a receiver, your brain is a transmitter and receiver. We're on average born with 7.5 ounces of brain, 14 billion brain cells. Our thoughts travel 24 billion miles per second. But Dr. Yakub Malik Shabazz was born with an elongated brain. He had a brain bigger than an average brain. That's not unique to Dr. Yakub. Genetically speaking, that gene still exists in 2025. In 2025, while I'm talking to y'all, some mother is going through harsh labor pains. They may have to perform a cesarean section on her because her baby is born with a big head, is born with an elongated brain. We see this in ancient India, ancient China, ancient Arabia, ancient Africa, ancient South America, ancient North America, all over the planet Earth. This mathematical phenomena is not mythology. It's real. Many of you be like, that Shabazz stuff is this. It's like, listen, family. Shabazz is real. It's so old that the white man can't teach you about it. He can't calculate or find its origin, you see? But Shabazz represents the godly or the godlike. Let us look at Message to the Black Man in America a little more. The messenger says, he started studying the life germ of man to try making a new creation or new man, whom our 24 scientists have foretold 8,400 years before the birth of Mr. Yakub, and the scientists were aware of his birth and work before he was born, as they are today of the intentions or ideas of the present world. See, the Holy Quran teaches us that Satan plans, but Allah plans. Allah is the best of planners. We let the devils do that thing. That's the purpose of grafting the devil. You got to let the electron be an electron. You need the electron in order for you to be a proton. How would you know you're a proton or a positive force if you didn't have an electron, a negative force? You wouldn't know you was a proton. How would God know he's God if you don't have a devil or Satan? How would good know that good is good unless there's bad? How would you be like, oh, it's nighttime? How do you know? Because somewhere at some point you had to experience daytime. How can I say I'm the black man if I don't know upstairs is my black woman? You see, how would you know you're old if you don't know somebody's young? How do you know you're wealthy if somebody's not poor? How do you know you're alive if somebody's not dead? That's the law of polarity that Dr. Yakub Malik Shabazz experimented with. Let us move on. According to the word of Allah to me, Mr. Yakub was seen by the 23 scientists of the black nation over 15,000 years ago. They predicted that in the year 8,400, that was in our calendar, year before the world of the white race, this man, meaning Yakub, would be born 20 miles from the present holy city, Mecca, Arabia. Those of you who are scientists, those of you that study cartography, that study the science of map making, you know 20 miles from the holy city of Mecca is what? The holy city of Jeddah. Jeddah is 20 miles away from Mecca. What is the city of Jeddah? Jeddah is an ancient city. What does Jeddah mean? Jeddah means goddess, old goddess, grandmother. It was an ancient city where Dr. Yakub Malik Shabazz was physically born in, outside of Mecca. Mecca was never called Mecca. The Romans came and conquered Mecca. Read the Holy Quran. The Romans came and conquered Mecca, but the original name of Mecca was Becca. What is Becca? Becca means what? Becca means the gathering or the unification of the civilizations of the people. So Becca is the root of civilization. Now, many of you try to wonder, like, well, we say out of Africa and the Anunnaki and ancient Iraq, Babylon, the Tigris River. Listen, family. Anywhere on this planet that you see a river, you're going to see ancient civilizations. I wouldn't care if it was the Mississippi River, the Amazon River, the Tigris River. That's what Muhammad told us in our 99 actual facts. What? The Nile River is 4,690 miles long and 1 3/8 miles wide. He calculated it. He calculated the mathematics of that Nile River. You see? Of course, we lived in these ancient places. But when it comes to like tracing our origin, we don't trace our origin to no Nile River. Family, get the spooky stuff out, y'all. I'm gonna give you a mathematical number. Listen carefully. I'm not saying 95% or 99% or 99.99%. I'm saying 100% of every river on any planet in our universe covering 230 continuous 640 quadrillion miles changes with time. The Nile River today is not the Nile River of yesterday. It changes every single second. It gets bigger. It gets smaller. If there's an earthquake, if there's a drought, it's going to dry the waters up. If the planet is spinning on her axis 1,037 and 1/3 miles per hour, mathematically speaking, you have to understand that change is a constant. You see? That's one of the universal laws of reality. See, y'all don't deal with reality. Y'all want to, it's the history of ancient black. Listen, history is never, ever. Think about this. Those of you that went to college, those of you that went to high school, those of you that went to the library, those of you that can go to the library, those of you that can use social media, will realize that history is simply not a science. Actually, AI chat GPT. It's history of science. AI gonna be like, heck no, what are you talking about? That's spooky, family. History has never, ever been a science. But many people think of it as a science. They talk about it like a science. You see? Our people been on this planet for over 76 trillion years. I would not waste my time or insult your intelligence trying to trace the origin of the black man. Our lessons teaches us what? The said nation of Islam has no birth record. It has no beginning nor ending. You waste. God is not the Alpha and Omega. He has no beginning nor ending. You wasting your time with that. You'd be like, well, scientists say the Big Bang Theory. You'd be like, scientists, y'all, scientists in 2025, the astrophysicists type, all of them admit, like, we have no idea when the Big Bang Theory began. Sunnis be like, we have no idea when the loss of planet white title began. Christians be like, Jesus before Abraham, and in the beginning, we have no idea when God began. You wasting your time even looking. Why is it so? See, human beings in our present state, we're so egotistical. We think that we need to know every goddamn thing. We don't need to know everything. See, you need to know what you need to know. You don't need to know, be like, how many inches was Master Farad Muhammad's foot? How many teeth did he have in his mouth? How big was his ears? That's irrelevant. He came to teach you the knowledge of self, family. Get the spooky stuff, the kooky stuff, the weirdo stuff out of you. You see, this is part of the problem. Our people, like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad explained, he challenged us. He said, question me. Yeah, I mean, he said, but don't question me like they questioned Moses. I mean, everything Moses, after all the good stuff Moses did for, he took them out of bondage, all that, they still was like complaining and groaning and moaning. I mean, like, what you took us out of Egypt and brought us across the Red Sea. Now we over here hungry. What, you brought us out here to starve to death? He's like, Lord, these jokers getting on my last nerves. I mean, and God sent them some manna from heaven. And after Moses and Aaron, you had the generation of Joshua, family. After Jesus and Peter, you had the generation of Paul. These things are written by 24 scientists to try to prepare you, to give you some inkling into human nature, to understand the mathematics of cause and effect, actions and reactions. So when you see these things being fulfilled, you won't be surprised. See, many of you are surprised because you're not reading the histories of Moses and Joseph and Abraham and Elijah and Elisha and Jesus and Matthew and Mark and Luke and Doubting Thomas and Saul, who became Paul, and Muhammad and Hussein and Hassan. You're not reading what the 24 scientists wrote. Therefore, you're surprised. As the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says in Message to the Black Man, to answers to his critics, he said he's not surprised. The public is surprised, many of them, at the deviation of his son Wallace or Malcolm. But he explained that no matter what mud they threw at him, they cannot yet say he is not the messenger of Allah. They can't take that from him. Before they was born, like Dr. Yakub, before Yakub was born, 8,400 years before he was born, the scientists wrote, this dude going to do this. You see? Before Malcolm X was born, in the book of Genesis, in the Torah, they got this symbolic Moses that's going to have a high priest known as Korah. Korah, according to the Bible, he's one renowned in the temple. And he's going to feel as though like Moses and Aaron is taking too much. So I should be in charge. You know what I mean? And this Korah is going to physically lose his life when he go against and betray Moses. The 2,000-year cycle begins. Master Muhammad said every 2,000 years, a major prophet is born. 2,000 years later, another one has come. This man is known as Esau, Yeshua, or Jesus. And he just happened to have this guy right there at the table. So they sitting around the table. Everybody cracked. Bow ties on, FOI uniforms on. They look cracked. One of them is a devil, according to G. Like, yo, you think the FBI ain't... Y'all think Satan ain't sitting right there in black skin? His imp? Master Muhammad called him the imp. Imp is just the short version of saying IMP, or an impersonator. You don't think that these brothers with these bow ties on is not working with the police? It's 2025. Like, yo, when things get crazy, when the Romans come, when indictments come, don't be surprised. Like, how can you be so naive after knowledge of self? Like, can a devil fool a Muslim? Not nowadays. I mean, so it's like, you ain't gonna fool me. See, when you come around the angels, you see what I'm saying? We'd be on the tip like, we could tune in. I'd be like, Negro, please. Now, get this corny game out of here. I mean, you know, go back to your devil. I mean, tell that devil that, you know, the messenger made us so wise in this day and time that he said the devil be like a little string wrapped around your little finger. And you look at your little finger and be like, what's that wrapped around your little finger? The devil's time up. But he has extreme power if you still believe in tricknology. So we're going to take y'all into some of Dr. Yakub Malik Shabazz's history. We're going to do a comparison, if you will, between Dr. Yakub Malik Shabazz and Master Farad Muhammad. All right. Notice Yakub did his work on the island of Pelan, known as Patmos in the Bible, a little island, 25 miles circumference. Don't waste your time going there trying to find some Yakub. It's a volcanic island, so all of the ancient stuff over 6,600 years was burnt all up. But Master Farad Muhammad came, unlike Yakub, doing his work on the island of Pelan. Master Farad Muhammad came and did his work in the ghetto of Detroit, Michigan, in the Black Belt section, or the hood, if you will. All right. What was it that Dr. Yakub wanted? Yakub explained to the king or the government or the rulers of his time, his thing basically was like, listen, we want y'all to give us reparations. We want y'all to give us some land to call our own. Give us the Isle of P land. We can't go there broke. I mean, he said, but give us a stipend where y'all take care of us for the next 25 years. Notice Yakub wants the government to take care of them for 25 years. Hold that in your mind's eye for a moment. What did the messenger, let me grab this Final Call newspaper right here for a second, family. What did the messenger want and believe? Part of the messenger's message in this age of mess, the messenger wanted the American government to take care of black people by giving us some land to call our own, like Yakub wanted P land or some land to call his own. Just like Yakub wanted the government to take care of them for 25 years, the messenger said what? Quote, I want y'all government to take care of us for the next 20 to 25 years. All right. Yakub, when he was 6 years old, while playing with two pieces of steel, he basically realized his mission in life, if you will. And Dr. Yakub explained to his uncle, he said, Uncle, when I get older, I will make a people that will rule you. And his uncle was like, what will you make? Something that cause mischief in the land and cause the shedding of blood? And Yakub explained to the old heads, listen, these young boys know that which ye know not. We find the exact same jargon in the Holy Quran by the 24 scientists. Why do we say 24 scientists? Because Lost Found Muslim lesson number 2 teaches us in the Nation of Islam that the Holy Quran or Bible is made by the original people who is Allah, the supreme being or black man of Asia. This is the prophecy. This is how the scientists operate, okay? That literature is important. Moses was given literature. Dr. Yakub left literature behind. Down Elijah Muhammad left literature behind. Master Muhammad left the messenger with literature. See, the angels left y'all with tons of literature. The literature that you're ignoring today, the people going to look at y'all like, y'all lunching. They going to want that literature because they going to get it. Y'all may not get it, but the future going to get it. All right? So, Yakub, the messenger teaches us in his holy tone, Message to the Black Man in America, that Dr. Yakub Malik Shabazz, he began teaching, and, his teachings caused problems. People didn't like what he was teaching. So much so that they began to arrest the followers of Dr. Yakub. They eventually locked up Yakub. All right? Master Farad Muhammad, when he began teaching in the Black Belt section of Detroit, Michigan, his teachings caused trouble. It caused a lot of confusion. They like, oh, what's going on? These Negroes were so passive and compliant, and what's going on? Now they talking about their gods, goddess. What's happening here? You know what I mean? To eventually, like Yakub got locked up, Master Farad Muhammad got locked up. Now remember, the history is written 8,400 years before he was born. Master Farad Muhammad is not here. His father and the 24 scientists goes and meet up in the holy city, in the seat of civilization in the holy city of Mecca. And before Master Farad Muhammad is physically born, they're taking counsel. They're like, yo, the scientists like, listen, this thing is so crazy. This is what we're going to do. We're going to destroy America. The whole thing. We're going to destroy all the black people and the white people. This is just ancient baby London, Babylon. It's like a cage filled with every filthy bird. We're not going to be able to redeem or resurrect. None of that. Just destroy it all. Get it over with. Know what I mean? But Master Muhammad's father was Allah's Rahman Rahim, the beneficent and the merciful. He's the loving. So he's like, nah, I know how to do it. They like, what you mean? He's like, we're going to resurrect him. And they like, bro, what you mean resurrection? Surely the dead is not known to return from the grave. You're like, no, I'm not talking about a physical. I ain't spooky. You can't resurrect nobody from the physical grave. He said, but I could resurrect them mentally, psychologically. I could change their psychosis. See, everyone on earth has what's called the neurotic, you know what I mean, And, then you have the psychotic, and then you had a sociopath. So it's like knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. It's degrees of evil. I mean, once they get to that particular level, it's like they're unredeemable. But the neurotic is like, oh, everyone has problems dealing with poverty, stress, ignorance, addiction, what have you. Master Muhammad understood that science, that sociology. He understood that mathematics. He's like, if I could take and produce a son and send my son over there to teach him, we could mentally resurrect the dead. They like, listen, man, that ain't gonna work. You had a whole bunch of people trying to do that. You had Marcus Garvey, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. They ain't listening to none of them. I mean, he's like, listen, how you gonna send somebody over there? They ain't gonna do nothing. If he teaching that raw, they ain't gonna do nothing but lock him up, lynch him, kill him, shoot him, assassinate him. You know what I mean? He's like, you can't send an all-black man into an all-white nation. He's like, nah. I'm going to go up in the Caucasus Mountains and get me a Jewish white girl. And I'm going to give birth to a son that's going to look like them, but teach like us. He's going to have horns coming out of his hands, but he's going to hide his power, as the prophecy says in the book of Habakkuk in the Bible. So they was like, That's going to be risky, but that might work. We think that mathematics don't lie. That seemed like it. Okay, we going to work with that. So they sent Master Farad Muhammad from the east to the west in fulfillment of these prophecies. The Bible's like God came and he took on the flesh of the corrupted. Why did God take on? Because he took on the flesh of a white woman and came in the wilderness of North America looking like a white man, thinking like a black man. You see? And he came and taught us who is the original man. The original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. This wasn't some boost your ego, some reverse psychology. No, he was talking reality. He was talking mathematics. He was talking cosmology. He was talking universal sciences. He taught us in our lessons the sciences of life. And what did they do? Like Yakub and his followers got arrested. They locked Master Farad Muhammad, put him in a straitjacket. They locked up the envelopes. They locked up the FOIs. They locked up the MGTs. They persecuted the Muslims, came inside the temple, gunning, shooting, killed Troy X-Way. That's what the devil do. They afraid. I mean, it's like they do their nature. But Allah was not surprised. He expected that. The messenger asked in the journals, man, he explained to us that the Savior's peace of mind and contentment is never broken, because peace of mind and contentment attracts friendships in all walks of life, like honey attract bees. The working of the hypocrites today is like the working of the hypocrites 2,000, 1,400 years ago, 2,000 years ago, 4,000. It's like that lets you know, oh, I'm doing the work. You see? When you be like, when you pick up your Bible in the book of Genesis, if you pick up the 12th chapter of your Holy Quran, and you see in there like, yo, it's these brothers that sojourn together. And one of them, Yusuf, he going to have a coat of many colors. But his brother's going to be jealous about that coat. And they're going to throw him inside of a well. They're going to go through all this stuff. I mean, they going to put him in jail falsely, all kind of stuff. You don't be surprised when you see these prophecies being fulfilled. You be like, okay, everything's on point. Allah's word is bond, you see? So just as Dr. Yakub was known before 8,400 years he was physically born, before Master Muhammad was physically born, the scientists already knew in their mind's eye exactly what they was going to will into reality. Now, Dr. Yakub appointed laborers. Yakub's major laborers were his ministers, his doctors, his nurses, and his cream agents. Master Farad Muhammad coming to reverse the works of Dr. Yakub Malik Shabazz. He didn't have ministers and doctors and nurses and cremators, but he did have ministers and captains and lieutenants and secretaries. This is how Yakub was able to perpetuate his will through those that believed as he believed. This is how Master Farad Muhammad was able to perpetuate his will. He was able to find those that believed in his mission, in his purpose. All right? In Lost Found Muslim lesson number 2, we're taught that Yakub taught his followers that when the baby came out and it was dark skinned, it was dominant, it was God, it was a goddess, stick a pin in the baby's head and kill it. Feed it to some wild animal. Give it to the cremator, let them throw it inside the furnace and burn it up. Turn it back into carbon atoms. And tell the mother that her baby was an angel baby. And that when she physically died, she would one day meet up with this dead baby somewhere in an imaginary spooky heaven. That's Yakub's see, this is where that technology came from. Yakub is the one that taught that when you physically die, you would not die. Yakub is the one that taught that when you physically died, you would go to a mystery heaven somewhere. He was lying, you see? Mathematically, scientifically, we understand that when you die, you transform, you see? But Master Farad Muhammad, unlike Dr. Yakub Malik Shabazz, Master Farad Muhammad didn't teach that the baby was an angel baby. He taught human beings on earth were true and living angels. You see the shirt. In fact, if y'all want to order y'all Supreme Angel shirt, make sure y'all go check out our website, noireport.online. You know what I mean? You know, but Master Farad Muhammad taught that the angels of Allah were real. They don't have physical angels sticking out their back. They don't run around praying all day and doing all this spooky stuff. Angels will take and come and disintegrate your behind. You see what I'm saying? They will annihilate your technology. You see? The angels are, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad explained to us in Al Sayers Arrive in 1974, he said, first Allah makes himself manifest. First Allah comes in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. Then Allah raises his first, last, and only messenger, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But he does not lead a messenger to do all of the guiding. See, this is where the spooky ministers is 100% contradicting the teachings of Honorable Elijah Muhammad, absolutely misunderstanding or straight lying to y'all or hiding the truth. The messenger like, no, that's not don't claim that that's the messenger teaches. The messenger teaches is this. First, in fact, let me find that, family. I'm going to find it and read it to y'all word for word. I'm not even going, because I know y'all so god darn spooky in the United States of America. It's ridiculous. All right. Al Sayers Arrive, page 108. We used to see all these raggedy notes and all, because I studied this for over 40 years. So it's like, if you come to me like, brother minister, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, how can I fix I'm just looking at this printer, the HP laser printer. I don't know about laser printers. I'm either going to get rid of it and buy a new one, get a technician that know about it and pay him or her to come in and fix it. I'm going to go over there and experiment on it a little bit, see if I could get it to work again. But I know what I don't know. If I compare what I know to what I don't know anything. See, I may know some of the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but I'm not self-deluded. I realize, like, to the day I die, family, I'm going to die not knowing 99.99.99% of what there is to know, you see? But what I do know is that in 1974, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Al Sayers Arrive said this right here about these angels. When I say about these angels, I want y'all to think about this. Say you're in this temple, this mosque, this masjid, this synagogue, whatever. say you had this newspaper, this book, this cassette, this DVD, this YouTube video. Think about it. Go on YouTube and just keep in mind on you. It's thousands of videos of the teachings of Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I want y'all to go in there and try to find how many videos teach the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad about the angels coming to make sure no mistake is made. Think about that. How many newspapers put that on the cover of that newspaper? It's obviously important. I would say of the utmost importance. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad says this, I quote, "Our Savior has arrived," page 108. "But the Lord God will not let any of us be blind today to the truth. This is why he came himself, to be sure that there will not be any mistake made. Allah God makes for himself a messenger." He don't make a messenger for you. Allah makes a messenger for himself. Allah God makes for himself a messenger. Then, see, in theology, that's called the 3 prongs. The first prong is Allah God comes himself. That's why Muhammad came himself and started teaching. Then he raised up the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Okay. Then he does something else. Let's look at what. See, this is the secret sauce that they. I want you to. I know why they do it. They do it out of player hating, envy, jealousy. I mean, they want to be that dude. I get it. I mean, but you can't teach that teaching or that preaching if you're not willing to go through that fire. They don't want to do the hard part. They don't want to sacrifice. They don't want to lose blood and spill blood and dedicate 40 years of their life and all that. They don't want to do that part, the hard part. They want the easy part. I just want to, get the money. I want to collect the charity. I want to make sure the charities, so I calculate that money, take my cut off that. It's like a lot of people think that people is about black power. No, they about white money. They don't care about no black power. They care about trying to get the devil's money. Listen carefully, observe them. They don't care nothing about black people. They not raising the dead. They not teaching the message in this age of mess. They trying to get a house, a car, a business, $100 bill, whatever. They chasing after material gain. They in it for what they could get. They not willing to give all they have and do all in their power, as the message says in Lost Film Miles on lesson number 2, February 20th, 1934. They trying to get and extract. They trying to divide and subtract. They not trying to add and multiply. They not trying to take their money and give it to the cause. They're not trying to pay sadaqah, zakat. The Holy Quran, chapter 8 of the Holy Quran talks about the spoils of war. You'd be like 99.99% of them don't pay the spoils of war. Like the Quran is what? 1/5, 20% of every dollar supposed to go to the ministers, to the cause, to the nation. She's like, please. That'd be like 40 years. They ain't. I can tell you right now, they not breaking you off. I mean, they breaking themselves off. So what you gotta do, you gotta turn them to themselves. Let them go ahead and do that. Not 99%. 100% of the time, they're gonna fail. It's gonna. They're not submitting their individual wills to the collective will of Allah, who came to person Master Muhammad, his messengers, the 24 scientists, and the angels of heaven. So the Holy Quran teaches us what? That if you're an enemy of the angels, you're an enemy of Allah. See, they think that they can get the help of Master Muhammad and oppose the angels of Allah. Imagine that. I mean, all you got to do is sit back. The message said that's all the scientists did was just cross their arms and waited on time. You see? You ain't got to worry about it's like, Allah gonna provide for you rain, hail, snow, sleet, earthquakes. You're gonna be good no matter what, because you're sincere. He knows the purity of your heart. You see, he understands the subconsciousness of your brain. Like oh, this servant here is really with me. You see what I'm saying? His life, her life, death, and sacrifices is all for Allah, for real. So you don't worry about nothing. You be like, man, listen, I might get shot, stabbed, locked up, go broke, whatever. But you're confident that you'll be the winner, living or dead. So let's look at this again. Page 108, Al says arrived. But the Lord God will not let any of us be blind today to the truth. This is why he came himself, to be sure that there will not be any mistake made. The Lord God makes for himself a messenger. Then the Lord God guides the messenger himself. He does not leave the messenger to do all of the guiding. Then the Lord God sends angels. He don't send Alif. He don't send a angel. He sends angels with an S. He don't send FOIs. He sends FOIs and MGTs. You see? Angels. The Maliki is going to send angels to see that his guidance is carried out like he taught the messenger to do. He does not leave the messenger to do all of the guiding, family. Then Allah God sends angels to see that his guidance is carried out like he taught the messenger to do. Why is Allah, who came to person Master Muhammad, sparking angels? He said it right here. But the Lord God will not let any of us be blind today to the truth. This is why he came himself, to be sure that there will not be any mistake made. What you mean any mistake made? He like, listen, Elijah, I taught the lost found Muslim lessons and all these jewels I dropped on these so-called American Negroes. Listen, they gonna mess the game up. You be like, what you mean? How? They know the black man is God now. The white man's the devil. It don't make no difference. 1975, they gonna put on kufis. These jokers gonna be like, Allahu Akbar. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika wa ta'baraka ismuka wa ta'ala ja'atuka wa la ilaha ghayruka. They going to be bowing down to mystery gods, mystery laws. They going to reject me as God. They going to be talking about I was a master teacher. I was using psychology. The black man is not God. They going to be like, Elijah Muhammad is not the messenger. He just was a reformer. They going to dismantle the Nation of Islam. They going to be like, these books, throw them in the trash, throw away your lessons. They're going to become spooked out their minds. You be like, wait a minute, these tough FOIs? You mean like North Philly fruit? South Philly fruit? The fruit in Detroit, LA, Miami? The Atlanta FOIs? The ones in Washington? Listen, all of them. With a select few. The message said, you could put the whole Nation of Islam in the back of a taxi cab. I mean, but 99.99% of them is going to be spooked out their mind. Why? They're going to want the devil's money. They're going to want to be 10%ers. They want to be rich slave makers of the poor. They don't want to be 5% poor righteous teachers. In their heart, they talk like they do. But honestly, the love of money is a root, not the root, but a root of all evil. They want that package. They want the bag. They want the fame. They want the pump and the glitter. What is this pump and this glitter? The pump is the fame, the reputation. The glitter is the money, the moolah, the cheddar. They want the devil's money, and the devil knows they want that money that got pictures of dead presidents on. They want to be like white people. They want to be like the devil. They don't want to be like God. See, gods can be like they could be monks. They could go in a cave with no money. You know what I mean? They could live cool. They'd be like, I just got a robe and I wear the same clothes for like 12 years as long as I got the truth. They ain't working with that. I mean, they on the tip like, man, I want, I want the devil's pump and glitter. So 12 Jews of Islam teaches us what? Stop buying expensive cars, fine clothes, and shoes before living in a fine. They don't want a fine home. They don't want. The message told us what? And Elijah Meets the Press, 1972. He said, after I'm gone, they said, after you're gone, Mr. Muhammad, the Nation of Islam will continue to exist. But how? The message said, after I'm gone, they gonna follow my teachings like the Constitution of America is followed. It's like, in fact, let me see if I can find that real quick. I don't know if I can find it. Let me check. I don't know if it's down here. Let me check something, family. I don't think I have that on hand. I know it in my head, so. Oh, I do have it down here. Okay. So I like giving y'all the messages in this age of mess. See, I don't like just saying, because, I tell you where's it have like, 1972, Elijah Meets the Press interview, whatever. But I like y'all to actually see it, because psychologically, because of slavery, we got to see it to believe it. I get that. All right. Let me, now, okay. This is Brother Minister Nasir, Secretary of Men's Society. I believe you'll find this on Amazon. In fact, you'll find it even on our website. We got it on noireport.online. But this is Elijah Muhammad Meets the Press. It's 1972 interview. Let's see here. Okay. I'm going to read some of the questions and answers here. I'm going to just freestyle this. I don't know what I'm going to say. I never prepared it. I just go from the heart. I mean, I don't need no notes. And I'm like in hip hop. See, in hip hop, you got rappers that be like, they know how to freestyle. I know how to freestyle. You know what I mean? But you got to understand, like, in hip hop, there's ages. In ancient Egypt, there's ages. And the Nation of Islam, there's ages. Like you got the golden age of ancient Kemet or Black Egypt. You have hip hop where you got this era where you got like Rakim, Queen Latifah, Poor Righteous Teachers, King's Son. You got X-Clan, you got KRS-One, you got Public Enemy, you got Lakim Shabash. You just got this different vibration going on. The devil peep it. Oh no, heck no. We got to change that. Know what I mean? So, when they finish, they like, you have to be rapping about mentally dead stuff. You gotta be rapping about that wet uni. I mean, you gotta be on stage, with your own kind. You gotta be talking pop stuff and shiny suits and savage stuff. You gotta be mentally dead. Now you get big checks out of that. You're not gonna get the big check. You come in with some conscious, positive. They be like, Black Thought Police. Y'all ain't getting the big money. Like, nah, we not really trying to promote that like that. Know what I mean? Now, if you be like, and I sell crack to a 12-year-old, why you shoot his moms, Deuce? I'm going all out, troop. Oh, that's, yeah, we'll promote that. We'll push that all day. You be number one. I mean, so it's the same thing in the Nation of Islam. Know what I mean? Like the government supported when Imam Mufti Muhammad took over. They let him come make prayer in Washington, D.C. I mean, they call him the Don up in Washington, D.C. now. I mean, they get in government grant checks and big money and things of that nature. That's all in it. But let's look at what the messenger says. The interviewer asked him the question, Let me see something for a second here. This is the January the 14th, 1972. 16 Chicago-based journalists representing several local and national newspapers and magazines were received in the home of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Messenger of Allah. All right, one of the questions was this. Have you designated a successor for yourself? Answered by Messenger Elijah Muhammad. I do not do that. I cannot do that. I did not choose myself. God chose me. And if he wants a successor, he will choose that one. Another question. By what means would someone come up? Now, remember, the messages told him there is nobody, but they rephrased the question. By what means would someone come up? Messenger Elijah Muhammad's answered, I do not know that because I do not believe there is one coming up. The work that I am doing, I don't think God needs one, because when man and God have come face to face, as the old saying goes, then that is the end of it. When we are face to face with God, that is the end of it. And so what would another one do? The message like, what are you talking about? I taught y'all the black man is God. Like, who going to surpass that? I mean, it's 2025. No one has surpassed that. The message says, quote, there's nothing for him to do. Question. After you are gone, Mr. Muhammad, the nation of Islam will continue to exist, but how? Here's the message talking about he's going to be. The message, I ain't going to live forever and all this spooky stuff that we got in this day and time. The message, like he knew, like every other white man or black man or woman, he's going to die. All right. After you are gone, Mr. Muhammad, the nation of Islam will continue to exist, but how? Messenger Elijah Muhammad's answer. It will be a new Islam to what the old Orthodox Islam is today. It will be altogether a new one. The message teaches the same thing in his first book, The Supreme Wisdom, Volume 1 and 2, back in 1957. He teaches that we're going to teach a new Islam. See, in the Arabic language, you have what's known as Al-Jadi Islam, the new Islam, and Arabic Islam, or the old Islam. The messenger said, quote, it will be a new Islam to what the old Orthodox Islam is today. Meaning that we're supposed to be teaching Al-Jadi Islam, or the new Islam, not our Arabic Islam, or the old Sunni Orthodox Shia, Ahmadiyya, the Hanafi, the Wahhabi Islam that's being taught by 1 billion people. It's easy to just jump on board and wanting to be in. You know how much money I could make just taking my shahada and growing my Sunnah beard and putting a kufi on, and yeah, it's like, no, I'm not going to sell out black people struggle in future for some money. Like, no, I'd rather stay a 5%er, a poor righteous teachers who do not believe in the teachers of the 10% and are all wise and know who the true and living God is, and teach that the true and living God is the Son of Man, the supreme being, a black man of Asia. This is us. This is what we do. Our life and our death and our sacrifice is for Allah, not in the sky, but Allah, our arm, a leg, arm, and the head, our people, okay? Question, you mean your successor will preside over a new Islam? Messenger Elijah Muhammad's answer, there will be no successor. There's no need for a successor when a man has got the divine truth and has brought you face to face with God. Question, how will your resources be administered? Messenger Elijah Muhammad's answer, that will be carried on by the nation. After setting up the nation on the right way or right path to take care of themselves, they do not need any more instruction on that. They will follow it as the Constitution of America has been followed. Question, will it be run by local mosques? Think about this. 1972, the message talking about when he's dead and gone, will the Nation of Islam be run by local mosques or masjids or temples? He ain't say no. Let's look at word for word what he said. He said, no, no, no. Let's repeat the question. Will it be run by local mosques? It's 2025. 99.99% of the Nation of Islam is ran by local mosques, masjids, and temples. Extremely contrary to what Messenger Elijah Muhammad taught us to do. All right? And everybody, like, follow the messenger teachings. Leave his teachings as it is. Spooked out their mind. They think these buildings are somehow linked and respected and admired by Master Muhammad, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the 24 signs, and the angels. Conscious people look at it like, surely religion is the opiate of the masses. Like, they just don't want to give up that mystery God. I mean, that's spooky stuff, all right? Will it be run by local mosques? Muhammad, no, no, no. After this, the whole entire nation of black people will be governed divinely, and the government will be a divine government and not something that is governed locally like we have today. We will have a divine government set up for us, and it will stand forever. We will not need any change. Question: what did you mean, new, different from orthodox? Answered by Messenger Elijah Muhammad: I meant just that. We have a new Islam coming up. The old Islam was led by white people, white Muslims, but this one will not be. This Islam will be established and led by black Muslims only. Elijah meets the press, family. So, going back to this thesis on Dr. Yakub Malik Shabazz, all right? Yakub, when he was born and did his works, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that Yakub was the God of his time. He was the wisest man in the Nation of Islam at that time. Likewise, parallel that to after the workings of Yakub, Master Farad Muhammad, to whom all praises are due forever, has the supreme hakimi, or wisdom. He has the supreme wisdom. Master Farad Muhammad is the wisest God. Even though Yakub was the wisest God in his time in making his devil on the island of Pelan, Master Muhammad is the wisest God in this time, making his gods and goddesses in the wilderness of North America. So we have the workings of Dr. Yakub on the left and the workings of Master Farad Muhammad on the right. This atomic structure, the proton and the electron, the positive and the negative, the righteous and the wicked, the light and the darkness, the God and the devils, is real. This is what we're living through right now. So, as I conclude, I want y'all to remember what I always try to instill in you. Only the messenger's message will guide us through. Not me, not you, we and us. Only the messenger's message will guide us through this age of mess. Assalamu alaikum. Peace to the gods. Peace to the goddesses.